and Flames Twitter was amok this week um, as the Calgary Canucks continue to reform here. 4 signings. We got Connor Mackey, I think, we got signed to a 2-way deal. Brad Richardson, a 1-year deal. Michael Stone.
Mark.
Yeah, that would be nice. Michael Stone has returned, not a surprise. But Erik Gubrandson, I think, is what took Flames Twitter by storm, signing a 1-year deal. So maybe we'll start with how Devin is feeling about all of this. And then Sean and I'll give my perspective on this as well.
Yeah, getting Mackey for 2 years at just under $1 million, I think, is a really good deal for him. He's 25 because he went the college route, and it sounds like they're still very, very high on Connor Mackey. So I'm happy that he's going to be playing actually a full year of pro this year, and maybe if there's potential injuries happening here, which always does happen, especially with Tanev playing a full season, where we're expecting, I'm expecting him to be injured at some point here just because of the way that he plays. And yes, he's a right shot. But as far as Tanev goes, he's a right shot. But having that depth is key in making sure that your covers are filled a little bit more, so you don't have to stretch Connor Mackey outside of his comfort zone. Also, with the signings of Michael Stone, I almost said Mark. That's a no-brainer in my mind. I mean, everybody was expecting it, and if you weren't expecting it, I don't know really how in-depth touched or how in touch you are within the Flames organization. So that one didn't surprise me. But as far as Gubrandson goes, you know what? I'm not upset about it. I think it's a good depth signing. Now, if he's going to be playing second line minutes, that is concerning to me. The reason why is because we have we have Rasmus Andersson on the right side, and he'll most likely be playing in the top 4. If he's not playing in the top 4, then that's a massive issue. He needs to be taking a step forward this year, pushing to be on that top line and maybe push Chris Tanev down in minutes a little bit. And I think that would be the best case scenario for the right side there. But my concern is that we all know Daryl Sutter. We all know the type of coach that he is he loves his veterans, hence the Richardson signing as well. But as far as Gubrandson goes, I know he's a red shot, but I as long as he does not stunt, as Daryl Sutter doesn't stunt on the growth of a Valimaki or the growth of Rasmus Andersson, that's my only concern with having such a veteran heavy defense core, if you will. I think it's like I said, if Gubrandson can keep at a third line role, I'm totally fine with it. And it's a no risk move at 1.9 for 1 year. So overall, not overly panicky about that. I'm just concerned about Daryl Sutter and how he's going to deploy his troops here. I think that the left shot to right shot comparison is just going to be might be overruled because he loves his veterans. So that's my only thing. Don't stunt the growth of our young players. And along with the Brad Richardson signing, I think that's great. He could be a great fourth line center. I want to see Glenn Godden get a chance here. He's been in the organization for a very long time. He signed a 1-year contract this year. 24 years old, still young. And I remember watching Heidi, Sean, and I went to a preseason game. Oh God, was that 3 years ago, Sean?
Been 2 years ago, 2019.
No, it feels like forever.
All right.
We watched him play against the Sharks, and I thought he played fantastic. And he is a pro hockey player for sure. It's just if he could get a chance to get a regular shift in the NHL, I feel like that'd be beneficial for him. But you know what? Overall, these signings are good in my mind. Well, maybe right down the middle, not good, not great, but we needed to fill out the roster a little bit more than what they had about a week ago. So hey, Brad, you did an okay job.
Just to follow up on that exhibition game that we went to, that was when we decided that we should bring you onto the podcast too.
Oh, well, look at that.
That was a mistake.
Oh, but hey.
Surprisingly enough, I'm still here. I don't know how,
but in terms of the signings, Stone's a good depth guy. You signed him for basically for league minimum for a year. He's going to be your fourth right side defenseman on your depth chart right now. And then Gubrandson should be your third pair guy. I still think that 195 is a bit high for what Gubrandson brings to is going to bring to the table for you, but it's only 1 year. So if he's horrible, then they can just move on from him real easy. But yeah, I don't see either of those signings on the blue line really hampering the growth of a Valimaki or a Mackie. I think that both. I think Mackie will probably be playing in Stockton this year, at least to start this year, getting him reps and minutes down there, and I think that'll help his development a little bit. And then I think Valimaki still has a very good shot at being a top 4 defenseman for this team. Because on the left side, it's Noah Hannafin, it's Valimaki, and it's Nikita Zadorov. So he's got the opportunity to do it. And it's up to him to take it and become a top 4 defenseman for the Flames. And then with Brad Richardson, yeah, just good veteran fourth line center. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I think he's only making $800,000, so you can switch him in and out of the lineup with a Glenn Gaudin, depending on who's playing better. So I think other than the Gubrandson signing, I think they were all good depth signings, and I think the Gubrandson one is one that I think, he's going to be your third pair guy. But I just look at that Flames defense, and I just worry about foot speed.
Yep. Yeah, and to Connor Mackey right now is actually on the AHL roster as of right now. He's not playing, or he's not listed on Cap Friendly on the NHL roster. So, and he's waiver exempt too. So we don't have to worry about losing him going through waivers.
Well, the interesting thing about Valimaki is he's not waiver exempt. If you send him down to Stockton, he has to clear waivers, and you would lose him.
100%.
Yeah. So,
but they're not going to do that. They'll keep him, and like I said, they're going to give him every opportunity to be a top 4 defenseman on this team, because they need him to be that for the team. If he's not, that blue line is not anywhere good enough to compete, even in the Pacific Division.
Yeah. So I mean, the Connor Mackie signing, I think how they develop him, I think that's fine. And I know he's 36, and I know that a lot of people are looking at it as old, but I think Brad Richardson will provide that valuable piece, a la Derrick Ryan, sort of a similar guy. He'll kill penalties. He'll do his thing. He's going to be a 4th line center. But at the same time, hello? Oh, that was, I was like, oh, what happened there? The mute went. the one concern I have with that is that, you look at that center ice position for the Flames too, and they are getting a little elderly there. So I do think I hope Glenn Gutton has a camp that impresses Daryl Sutter a little more, because I do think they need some youth there for sure. And I do think I'm a little also worried about the depth up front as well. And Michael Stone, we knew he was coming back. Daryl Sutter was high on him late in the second half of the year. And then you have Gubrandson. I just, I'm not going to slight him as but I do think that I think my annoyance with this is I do think that there were some other options that you could have put $1.95 million to. There's Sammy Vatanen is still out there. Mark Pysyk is still out there. There's a few pretty solid, and Sammy Vatanen can play with that suffocating sort of nastiness. And maybe Sammy Vatanen didn't want to come here, but what it seemed to me, according to what Erik Gubrandson said, is Daryl Sutter contacted him right away as soon as free agency started. And that, to me, is where I'm feeling a little bit of a head scratch. What is it about Erik Gubrandson that the Flames are seeing over everyone else?
What he's seeing is you're looking at the head coach wanting to play nitty gritty, hard nose hockey. Look at the signings of traded for Tyler Pitlick. Talk about him like all these players are meat potatoes guys. Tyler Pitlick, Brett Ritchie because he's coming back, Trevor Lewis, Brad Richardson. He's maybe not nitty gritty, but a good veteran presence. And then you have Michael Stone, who actually was in the lineup for the last few games of the year, playing decently high minutes for him. That is, especially since he's been in and out of the lineup for the past 3 years with the Flames. So it's bringing back the MO of maybe mid 2000 hockey of let's be gritty. Let's not get pushed around. And Tree Living has been shown that he wants to be a bit more, not as soft, if you will, within this Pacific Division. And it's going to be a hard out for any team that comes in the Saddle Dome or any team that plays the Calgary Flames. That's the reason why he called Gubrandson right away and said, hey, look, I really hope that we're going to be able to sign you, because that's where my worry, that's where I start worrying a little bit, is because Daryl Sutter called him at the beginning of free agency and said, hey, wait for us. We're coming for you, kind of thing. I'm going to do my best to get you signed. And as long as he stays as a third line role, I don't think it's a bad signing. Just as long as he stays there and doesn't take many penalties. But Sean, my concern is the exact same as Sean's. There's not a lot of foot speed on that back end. There's not a lot of puck moving defenseman. I mean, Valimaki has little spurts here and there. He can carry the puck out, which is nice, but still not that quick. Rasmus Andersson, not that quick. Tanev, not that quick. And if you're relying on a Noah Hannafin to be your horse back there, he had a great year last year. Don't get me wrong, but he needs to build off of that, or at least show exactly the same type of game that he showed last year. Otherwise, I am very concerned about this back end.